Someone wants to say hi on the stream on the video recording. Say hi, Milo. Hello. Hey man, he ran over here. It's not my fault. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We are going to talk about this guy, Star-Lord. Now, people, when this game first launched, people said the Star-Lord was a terrible character, not very viable, just didn't work. And so far, my own experience and playing around with him and what I've seen someone in my alliance do with him as well, he is incredibly good at the end game. He does take investment. He does have to be built up a certain way, and I think that's part of why people weren't too thrilled about him at first, because they just weren't building him up right. But we're going to talk about how you need to be building him up properly to be focusing on the right stats and what you need to be doing with him, because if you don't, well, you're going to be kind of gimped with him in the long run. But Star-Lord is a ranged DPS character, and he throws out several different types of element attacks. He has fire, ice, and lightning attacks. Of those, lightning seems to be the weakest of the different skill types. The shock just doesn't reduce attack by enough on the enemies, so it doesn't really have a noticeable difference there. Frost seems to be pretty solid in PvP, but Fire overall seems to be the best build so far for Star-Lord. A lot of your high-end Star-Lord players are using Fire builds on him. The Burning debuff increases the damage that the enemy takes. That's very good in PvE. It has worked out very well in PvP. Plus, the Fire skills that Star-Lord has to his name have very good damage on them too. So the Fire build seems to be the best one. That's currently what I'm running. I'm not going to go too far in depth on building up that fire build today. We're going to break that down in a separate video. But I do want to give a quick shout out to someone in my alliance, Machine Gun Flow. He's the guy in my alliance who has been running Star-Lord, and he has just been absolutely killing it with this guy. So this is him right now. And yeah, he's sitting at 730k power, but he's trying to build up that Sakar set for that flame class skill boost. And yeah, he's been doing some pretty crazy stuff with this. It's a shame I can't see his weekly rankings here, but he's pretty much top 100 in all the weekly rankings. Usually the top Star-Lord in a lot of the rankings too. So a big shout out to Machine Gun Flow, who has been kind of mentoring me and helping me build up Star-Lord, kind of getting things figured out here. So let's talk skills and how to build up your Star-Lord specifically. One of the big mistakes that players made with Star-Lord originally was that they tried to go for these hybrid elemental builds on them. I saw a lot of people trying to run like these fire or ice or lightning ice builds. They're trying to mix and match elements. That does not work with Star-Lord unless you're at very high levels and stacking a lot of debuff accuracy. And for most of your players out there, that's just not going to be viable. It's going to take a lot of rerolls or just getting insanely lucky on your gear. Most players are not going to be able to do that. Number two, your Omega cards are extremely important on Star-Lord. We're going to talk about that and probably why this may have to be remedied a little bit, because the way the Omega cards roll in the tertiary stat kind of determines whether they're going to be usable on your Star-Lord or not. And I don't think that's intentional. So we'll talk about that too, but let's talk about the skills first. This is my skill build for my skill layout for my Star-Lord. So I'm running this as my first attack, Blaster Charge with the Cherry Bomb subset. Very short cooldown, 6.6 seconds, but it's stacking 2 stacks of burn every time it lands. So short cooldown on this, and the way Star-Lord works is that you have to stack up 8 stacks of your debuff before it actually applies to the enemy. So I have to get 8 stacks of burn. Hello, Jordan. How's it going? Happy birthday, dude. It's my roommate's birthday today, so everybody wish him a happy birthday down in the comments section. But yeah, you have to land 8 stacks of the burn before it actually applies to the enemy. So that's the big thing. That's why these hybrid skills with Star-Lord just don't work, because you have to land so many stacks of them. If you're splitting it up between all these different elements, it's just not working. And those stacks will expire over time. So if you can't reliably land them, you're not consistently landing them, they just don't land, and then you're kind of hampering the effectiveness of your Star-Lord. So short cooldown on this, 2 stacks of burn. This rapid fire spin does a ton of damage, also applies several stacks of burn. This burning multi-blast can hit multiple enemies, plenty of burn on that. This battle soundtrack, Pump It Up. This is why I'm not running high crit rate on my Star-Lord. It's a long cooldown, 25.2 seconds. That crit rate's only boosted by 48% for 8 seconds, but there's a specialization that's going to drastically cut down this cooldown. We'll get to that eventually. But yeah, with this, I'm running high crit rate on him when this is activated, and I'm running almost 200% crit damage on my Star-Lord right now. Flame Cannonball does a nice AoE attack, does some decent damage with it as well, and stacks burn too. So all of those are my skills I'm leveling up with Star-Lord, basically just going full flame, trying to stack burn on him as much as possible. I have seen people try to use jet boots as well. This one, it does work. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I just not a fan of it. I think some of these other abilities just do better damage and stack more stacks of burn on them. So I just kind of prefer these ones. The jet boots. If you want to run for it, by all means go for it. Let's talk the Omega cards. These Omega cards are going to be a problem, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys why. So these three over here on the right, I never want to re-roll these. I should. I mean, ideally you want to take these up to 6-star. Here's the problem. The tertiary stat for Star-Lord determines whether or not it's going to be a good Omega card for Star-Lord. Look at that. The exclusive stat boosting my flame damage by 7.3% on this Loki card. So I get crit damage plus total damage plus flame damage. This is the best roll I could have gotten on the Loki card. And you know what? I don't want to roll this anymore, because if I lose any of this, overall, it's a big DPS loss for my Star-Lord. This flame damage is huge, a 7% boost on flame damage on the exclusive stat. Here on my other card, 9.4% on this one, and then on my Avengers card here, another 7% on that. I'm running a good, I don't know what, 21, 22% flame damage boost from these three Omega cards. These ones, I get attack and total damage, but that's chill damage, and PvP damage increase, which is nice for PvP. But these two, their tertiary stats for me are useless. And this, I think, is going to be something that they may have to reconsider with the Omega cards for Star-Lord, is to roll that somewhere else. Move that up, change your bonus in your exclusive stats or something. I don't know. But making it so that the Omega card, this exclusive stat, is so good that if you roll the perfect thing on here, it's one of those things where you don't really want to upgrade this. Like, I don't want to upgrade these anymore, because I don't want to lose any of those stats that I rolled on those cards. So we'll see if they adjust that in the future. But you also see I'm running 3 different 2-piece Omega card sets here. I'm running Hydra Empire number 2 with a 2 set for the attack bonus. I'm running the 2-piece Midgardia number 4 set bonus for the crit damage boost. And then I'm actually trying to go for... I need to swap this one. This is the one I'm going to swap out eventually, but I'm going to try to run this Dark Zone number 3 set here for the attack boost here too. Now you can run the whole 4-piece set from Midgardia if you want to. It's HP and defense in those other 2 spots, so not the most reliable, but that crit rate would be nice for you. But yeah, I mean, using just that 2 set for the bonus crit damage and then getting some attack with the 2-piece Omega card sets in the other spots, nothing wrong with that. Let's move on to potential. So potential, the big thing with Star-Lord and his potential is that debuff accuracy is the main thing that he focuses on, and cooldown decrease. So he gets a lot of cooldown decrease and a lot of debuff accuracy. That debuff accuracy is your number 1 priority when you're upgrading these, because without debuff accuracy, you cannot reliably land the debuffs from your Star-Lord abilities. I goofed here. I started working on defense at the last tier just because I want to make him a little more tankier, because he was dying a little quickly in Sakaar. So I just kind of threw some potential on him. I'm gonna keep working on debuff accuracy and get that boosted up, because with that, he's just gonna be able to do reliably land more debuffs, be able to stack burn more often. So your debuff accuracy, and then start working on your cooldown decrease, because you do have some long cooldown decrease, or you still do have some long cooldowns. So this will help quite a bit with it. I mean, you're talking a good, I don't know. I'm trying to do the math in my head. I think you're talking about 8 to 9% cooldown decrease once you get all your potential maxed out here. So that's not bad at all. But where Star-Lord really shines, and this is an absolutely insane specialization ability for him. One of his best specializations right here to the left. It's very easy to get for Star-Lord. Decrease the remaining cooldown by 5% once every 5 times a skill is used. that 5% stacks constantly. This will go up to 50% every time 5 skills are used. This is why I've got that Cherry Bomb ability with a short 6-second cooldown on him. This is absolutely insane. I talked to Machine Gun Flow about it. He didn't have this originally, and I was like, hey, dude, try this. I have a feeling this is going to make your build insane. He went into it. He messaged me like 2 days later, and he was like, dude, this specialization is an absolute game changer. This should be the very first specialization you go for on Star-Lord, because this cooldown reduction, once fully maxed out, I mean, that's why you want to go for so much stamina recovery on his equipment, because this, you don't have to worry about cooldown reduction anymore once you start using this. Your cooldowns are going to go so fast. So that battle soundtrack, I pop that, then I use all my other abilities in a rotation, and then that's probably going to be, this will pretty much cause battle soundtrack to be just about off cooldown again as soon as I use my full rotation. Like, that's just absolutely insane what this specialization is going to do. So this is a very easy first choice no matter what you're running for Star-Lord. This should be your #1 priority, this specialization right here. For PvE content, especially raids and blitzes, this is another high priority. Increase your damage dealt to the targets with 50% HP or lower by 2.5%, maxing out 25% boost to your damage. I've seen Machine Gun Flow when we're in raids, his damage doing all right, but as soon as that boss drops below 50%, his damage just goes up and up, and it's because of the Grand Finale specialization. This is very good for PvE. PvP can be very good as well, because if you have someone who's trying to flee and they're low on health, this is just a 25% damage boost to them. This is going to be very helpful no matter what you're running on Star-Lord. Here's another one. Increase the duration of your debuffs dealt to the enemy by 3%, stacking up to 30%. Your debuffs usually last 8 seconds already, so another 30% added onto that. You're talking another about 3 seconds of a debuff on someone. So another 3 seconds of the enemy taking 20% additional damage with burn. I mean, that's an easy one. There are some other ones here. Increased damage dealt to shock targets. This is obviously going to be using for your shocked characters. Each element of Star-Lord has a special bullet ability. There's the electric one down here, the ice bullet over here, and the fire bullet up here. I don't really recommend these ones too much. I mean, they're okay, but they're based on the amount of attack you have, and until you're stacking a huge amount of attack, it doesn't really make that much of a DPS increase. These are ones that are very much ones to work on later on as you're building up your character. There's another 4.5% chance to stack chill by 1 upon applying chill. So more stacks of chill here. There's increased guard damage when using chill class skills. Increase your debuff accuracy rate by 2.5% and accuracy by 2.5% when HP is 50% or higher. Most of the time that's going to work in PvE. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. PvP is going to be dicey. If you're running low on health, I mean, this pretty much becomes useless for you if you're running low on health constantly. So that's one you may want to skip. This one increases all your type damage by 1.5%. That's a 15% damage increase to all of your damage types. So fire, ice, and lightning. This is very much another very good specialization that you really should equip on Star-Lord no matter what kind of build you're working on for him. And then you have the Jet Boost modification, which increases the damage of the first skill used within 6 seconds after using a dodge skill. So this one, very niche, very situational. Really don't recommend it. But yeah, take a look at your bullets, at your elemental bullet builds, and see which one you want to go for. There's plenty of shock and chill abilities are spread around that will definitely be worth investing in. But yeah, this cooldown reduction, the increase of your duration of your debuffs, and increasing your type damage, I think those are all top 3 choices for specializations, no matter which build of Star-Lord you're going to be running. So those are specializations. In terms of the stats around your costumes, for me, I'm running Sakar because I'm trying to go for the flame set. Very high crit damage on this, 50% crit damage. Not a lot of crit rate, only 5% there, but because of battle soundtrack and the way the cooldown reduction is going to work with him, I'm not worried too much about stacking a high crit rate. I want to go for more crit damage. This guard damage and accuracy rate is going to make this chest piece pretty good for PvP, But I want to go for a little more attack and crit damage on this for PvE purposes. For his blaster, I mean, this is more defensive stuff, which is a little weird that his blaster is like rolling defensive stuff, but that's how they have this gear optimized. Defense, debuff resistance, crit damage decrease, guard damage decrease. I mean, there's nothing really necessary to focus on with Star-Lord here. And then his boots, stamina recovery. I really want to go for stamina recovery and not so much cooldown decrease because of the high cooldown decrease he's already running on him. And yeah, I just think that stamina recovery is going to do better. Oh, someone wants to say hi on the stream, on the video recording. Say hi, Milo. Hello. Hey man, he ran over here. It's not my fault. Hello, everybody. But yeah, so everybody say hi to Milo too. There you go, buddy. Go on. But anyways, that's gonna wrap up things for the Star-Lord guy. He's been very needy tonight. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions about Star-Lord, how to build him up, anything about mega cards, his builds, cores, anything. Let me know down below if you guys have any questions. But always make sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. I will see you guys next time.